Hello, everybody.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome. Good morning and good afternoon.
Good
Gotta get
evening
that out
or
of
good night.
the way. We've already got the chat hopping this morning. Afternoon. Chris Bear was first. So, can you give him some something? There you go.
Confetti for Chris.
Yes.
Alliteration, we love it.
Yes. Cheryl is here. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Amy is here, and she's second.
Hi,
Does she get
Amy.
like fireworks or something? Or third?
Well,
She's
she
third,
says
actually.
third. I don't know what
Yeah.
could be third.
Because then I guess Cheryl was second. Clearly.
Lasers.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Good morning,
Give her some
Patty.
lasers.
Good morning, Judy. Okay. Talking about some sci-fi nerd stuff that I don't understand.
Unfamiliar with that series. It's funny that you bring up nerd stuff because we were just talking about the book series of Dune.
Yes. Yes, which I have not read. I've only
Same.
seen the first movie. That's where
Like
I'm at.
from
with the whole-
1984?
No, sorry. The first one that just came out. The first in the series that they're currently working on, I guess.
Reviving, revamping.
Yes. I have not seen the second one that just came out yet.
We tried to sit down to watch the original movie that was released and apparently got like awful ratings, but then had its own little cult following and stuff like that. And we got probably about, I don't know, 7 or 10 minutes into it, and Jared's like, I can't. I'm done. I said, okay.
It's amazing like how we've gotten conditioned to the entertainment that we appreciate today. Because when you go back and try to be entertained by something of in the past, you're like, how did people sit through this? We really have been spoiled in a lot of ways.
Oh man, even just like looking back on the CGI stuff, like whenever the first 3 episodes of Star Wars came out, just like seeing the progression on those is just wild compared to, like the original, episodes 4, 5, and 6. I'm just like, this is nuts. Like, I'm actually flabbergasted at how amazing they were able to do things like back in the 70s and 80s. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, there was one point where I was like, I'm gonna watch 2001 Space Odyssey because it's a classic. It's like, I got, I couldn't. Like, I just not so bad. Like, how? That's the only question I have.
It's kind of like do you remember the TV show Wishbone off of PBS?
Yes,
okay,
I do.
It's kind of like watching Wishbone take novels and turn them into a 15-minute episode because you had like the 3 to 6 minutes on the front side and the back side that were not like the actual novel. It's like doing that.
Yeah.
Journey to the center of the earth with a dog.
Yeah. He was pretty talented though. He made it look pretty good sometimes.
We did love the Wishbone.
Yeah. I didn't watch Wishbone very much when I was young, but my youngest siblings did, and that was a big thing for them. So
yeah.
Let's see. Jennifer is here. Charlotte is here. Dan is here. Hello.
We're so glad that y'all are here today.
Talking about the
Is it rainy where y'all are? I would love to know that in the comments.
It's not rainy here. It's actually been nice and sunny, but not warm. So it's it's better than cold and rainy. I would rather have warm and sunny at the same time, but take what you can get.
Ours is presently rainy. It started raining yesterday, like afternoonish. It sort of paused for enough time for Jared to be able to like grill steaks and burgers on the charcoal grill, and then it started up again.
It's the way it goes. Yeah, I'm sure the rain will be back soon. Let's see. Marianne is here from Las Vegas. Sherry R, good morning. Cool keto couple is here from Canada. Sing It
I
is here
love that alliteration.
from Chicago. Cindy is here, listening while frying boiled eggs. Hey, she's doing your thing. Third day of an egg fast. Oh, that sounds fun.
I have been on an egg kick, not egg fast ways, but like just an egg kick period. For the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 mornings have had 4 eggs scrambled. And then for lunch, another 4 eggs scrambled with some fried cabbage.
I should
I've
be on
just
an
been
egg
like,
kick because we have
do you
so
have
many
too
eggs right
many?
now. We have so many eggs right now. I
Well,
just
it's
took
like,
10 dozen over to my brother and sister-in-law because they have a community they can share with and stuff. And I was like, I just got to get them out.
yeah,
Or else they're
yeah.
just gonna go to waste, and that is super lame.
That's super sad. That makes
Yeah,
every single egg per, like the cost per egg just like skyrocket if they waste.
exactly. So, but they'll put them to good use, and hopefully, like I do have a good community of people that I'm sharing them with and stuff. But we really need to get the egg stand built and going because we're at the point where we need it because we can't
Yeah.
live on 3 dozen eggs a day. I mean, we could just go on a an egg diet. We could start a new like egg carnivore, not lion diet. We could do like the egg carnivore. I'm egg carnivore.
Salamander challenge. Like whatever kind of reptiles, like a snake challenge, but not like the snake water thing, but like, like what is it? The Rescuers Down Under, Disney
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
classic.
Yes.
When the what kind of was she a Gila monster? The pet lizard? What
I
kind
don't know.
of lizard was she? But her name was Joanna.
Yes, with the big yeah.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no,
that
no,
was a
not
different
that
one.
one. Joanna was the
Oh.
evil guy's sidekick, like pet,
Oh, yes.
and Joanna always stole the eggs.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. And then
What
there
was
was
his
the
name?
wasn't
McCready,
there
something
yeah,
like that.
there was the like the one that was always trying to escape that had the crazy
Yeah.
yeah,
There
good
was him.
time.
He was a little bit anxious with
Yeah,
his
yeah,
existence in
yeah.
general.
That was a funny character.
Oh, for sure. I loved that movie.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Risa is here.
Hi,
Um,
Risa. We're glad you're
Haley
able to be here today.
Haley is here. Let's see. Still talking about Dune. Suzanne says, I have seen the old movie, read the books, saw the #1 in the movie series, going to #2 this weekend. Sounds like you're a fan. I liked the first
So
one. I
when
thought it
you,
was entertaining.
yeah,
By the first one, I mean, you know what I mean.
yeah, the 2021
Exactly.
version. I felt like it was pretty slow.
Uh, yeah.
For me, that was slower, and I felt like I didn't have enough context stepping into the story where they stepped into it. Like, I don't understand who this Bene Gesserit is. Like, what is that group of women? Like, what is this thing happening? And
Yeah.
it being a fan of Star Wars, not like a super fan, but just a general everyday cultural fan of Star Wars, it felt like it was trying to do the same thing, but then also
Mhm.
mash it up with having a Messiah. So I was very confused for a
That's
lot of it.
yeah.
But I didn't dislike it for sure, and I was intrigued by what was coming for the next episode, I guess
Right.
is I don't know what they'll call it next in the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure like reading the books, there's a whole lot of time taken to create the world and set the scene. And when they're doing a
Yeah.
movie, they just can't quite. So I can see like there's certain movies that are based on books where it's like it's made for the people who like the books
Yeah.
and not necessarily for the people just coming in.
Mhm.
I watched The Little Women. Um, I think it was the most recent movie that came out.
Iteration.
And I was just like,
Yeah.
they did not develop the characters. And so it was kind of like, if you've read the book and you already love the characters, then you'll enjoy this. But I was like, it's been so long since I've read the book and I didn't remember all of it. I was like, you need, I need some context
You
here.
need help.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, making a movie for people that like the book, that's fine. That's fine. But
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
But knowing that up front. Like,
Yes,
if you haven't read the book for this one, it might be useful to at least do a Cliff's Notes for it.
exactly. Risa says, just got my strawberry cream and vanilla cream delivery today. Yes, if you haven't heard, Keto Chow has strawberry
Yay!
cream and vanilla cream back permanently, which I'm super excited about because I like both of those flavors very much. Low carb
Good stuff
spin
to have in.
here. Hello. Did you
Hey
see their
guys.
video of lasagna that just came out this week? I think it was this week.
No, not yet. No. I
Okay,
saw I saw the thumbnail for it, but I didn't click
it
on it yet.
looks so good. Like picture perfect lasagna. Beautiful. It was, yeah,
Very cool.
looks absolutely delicious. So definitely go check out Low Carb Spin's recipes. They have a lot of great recipes. Very like creative recipes.
Mm.
Let's see. Chris Bear says 2001 A Space Odyssey is also an acquired taste. Yes. Which I will not be acquiring. Thank you very much. Let's see. Amy says, just like the movie Time Machine. I don't think I've seen that one.
No,
Let's see. Oh, Chris says they have tickets to see Dune Part 2 tomorrow evening. Yeah, the first 3 hour spotted.
No joke. I tell you what, I know there's a very big camp of people who feel similarly to me. I am in the camp that I would rather stream it to my TV where I can pause when I need to, I can be as comfortable as I want to be, and I can put on closed captions. Because
Yeah.
my brain sometimes cannot connect the words that people speak out loud to
Yes.
what it actually means. And it's like, if I could just see it
Mhm.
and hear it, then I might be able to get it down.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I gotta have the closed captions. I don't know. I don't even remember the last time we went to a theater. I mean, it's so expensive when you
Mhm.
have a bunch of kids, first of all. It's just like, bleh. We'll just
And
watch
dollar
it.
days are now like $7 day.
Yes. Let's see. Risa says it is raining where she's at. Patty says sunny here in Central
Same
Oregon. Yep,
here.
that's where we're at. With some leftover snow on the ground. We got some snow actually on the ground a few days ago. Woke up and
Nice.
there was a dusting, which we were surprised at. I mean, it was gone pretty quick, but it was fun to see.
I love the
Jack
snows.
says Southern Ontario, just cloudy and overcast. Cindy says rainy in Kentucky. Second day straight. Oof. I mean, I feel you. I'm used to the rain. Haley says been raining all day. Amy says sunny and 45. Yeah, that's not too bad. Still cold, but you know, it's not snow. Ducks have taken to laying eggs all over their area thanks to the good weather. Oh yeah. Those ducks.
It
Give them
makes
an
it
inch.
so easy to collect.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah, Chris says if you're not a fan of the rain, you should probably move out of the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and so
Solid advice.
I mean, Oregonians, like one of our things is complaining about the rain. Like it's just part of our personality. But then
It
we
actually
love,
is issued alongside the birth certificate, the expectation that you will complain, you will grump about the weather.
yeah. But then we appreciate the effects, you know, and couldn't live
I
without
mean, the
that.
green is the most gorgeous green out there.
It is. It's pretty amazing. Let's see. Ron's Keto Cafe is here. Hello.
Hi, Ron.
Good morning, Karen Wilson. Let's see. Suzanne says, I've been on an egg issue lately. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, context
Sure. I'm not sure about this issue. Like
good
we're on an
for
egg kick.
us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm for sure always on an
Speaking
egg
of
kick.
egg issues, Levi had an egg exposure this past week, which was the first one in a really long time. So we had been like
Yeah.
a good stretch, and then oh man, that poor boy. Yeah.
So the allergy is still strong with this one.
Yes, you know, after, you know, as time goes on and I'm just like, I wonder if he's still if it's, you know, if he's grown out of it yet. And so
You
every
don't
once
have
in a
to
while, we're,
wonder.
slap in the face like, "Nope, definitely not." Yeah.
This is his thing.
Yeah. It was so sad because, the girls had some friends over, to spend the night, and they were making waffles for breakfast, and they made a batch of waffles with egg in it, and I made a batch of waffles without egg for him, and the only thing we can think of is that he accidentally grabbed one of the ones with egg thinking it was one with, so, like, we did all the right things. Made him his own safe waffles, and there was just some stupid mix up. It's like, come on.
Well, you can't win them all. You can't
Nope.
win them all.
Nope. We sure didn't win that day. Okay, so Chris says he's never seen The Rescuers Down Under. How is that possible? I think you're
I'm
gonna have to
pretty
cancel your
sure
game too and just, stay home and watch Rescuers Down Under.
what I find most entertaining about Rescuers Down Under is that they're in Australia and the mother has an Australian accent, but
Hmm.
then all of the other like human characters don't.
Hmm.
Well, I guess the radio, like the people that are on the radio, they've got Australian accents, but the evil guy and Cody, the main character, both have American accents.
Interesting. Yeah, accents in movies, they often don't line up. It's
Yeah,
very
it's
confusing.
like that you can tell this was made for Americans.
Yeah, like, Mulan, she sounds like an American, but then, like, the old lady has
100%.
a strong accent. You're like,
Yeah,
"Really?"
she's yep, they don't match up. Or
No.
in Moana, like the accents don't quite line up and you're like, "Huh,
Right,
okay."
very Uncle Big Guy is here, hello. Let's see, Toys R Us Kid is here.
Oh man, I
Oh,
remember the
Sing
Toys
It
R
is
Us stores.
asking Sing It is asking, "Did I miss what is in the chat cups?" You did not, because we
You
did not
didn't
mention it.
miss.
I'm glad you asked. What do you have today?
I've got black decaf coffee.
Okay,
Surprise, surprise. But then I also have some citrus salty.
excellent. I have, protein hot cocoa. I did
Ooh,
I did have coffee this morning, but I was not ready for another cup to sit down for the chat, so I made and I didn't have any breakfast, and so I was like, "Well, this is breakfast."
mm, I don't think that's a terrible thing.
No.
I
Yeah, I mean,
I
you still
actually
need
was
to have the
impressed.
protein there.
I was impressed with me because I've drunk a full container of water plus a bubbly water since I've already had lunch, and I held off on extra coffees until starting the coffee chat. But it goes quick
So
for
proud of
me,
you.
so I'm fearing that if I get to the end of this chat, it'll be long after the coffee is gone, and I might have to go have another one.
There you go. All right, let's see. Patty says, "I'm near Portland. Central Oregon is one of my favorite places. My grandparents lived in Madras." Interesting. So Patty, no wait, Toys R Us Kid is a neighbor.
Cool.
Rickwin
We were
is
in
here.
Fairview for a short minute.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's see.
Hi, Rickwin.
Okay, Rickwin says, "There's a movie I love, but most people have never heard of it. Sci-fi weird. It's named Nirvana. Have you ever heard of
Interesting.
that one? I have
No.
not. I
Mm-mm.
have, okay. Oh, Marianne says, "I'm needing encouragement to get back to keto. I'm trying so hard on vacation with my husband who buys things I can't eat here in the condo." That's that's rough. When
Yes,
you're out of keto or whatever healthy habit, I mean, it could be anything.
for
It
sure.
sometimes just takes like 2 or 3 days just to put your head down and get through it, and when you're in the environment of the temptations being there, it can be very difficult. So I definitely feel for you on that one. Do you have any tips or ideas for Marianne?
I have actually a question that I would love for her to respond to before I make anything, like say any recommendations. And Marianne, that would be how much longer are y'all on vacation and when do you get to be back home?
That's a good
I
question.
know for us, when we are traveling and we're stateside, for me, it's not so difficult to stay mostly on track. Like we may step off every now and then, but not really as a habitual thing. But the like if we travel overseas or beyond our borders, then I find it that it's really more tricky for me personally to avoid as many of the things that I typically would here stateside. But I also feel like if you're immersed in a specific culture for a specific period of time, it's not the end of the world to,
Yeah.
just kind of do your best without making it a huge problem or a huge issue, and then come home and say, like, okay, at home base, this is what I do. And I'm not at home base right now, so it's going to be okay. And I know that it's a temporary thing, not a permanent lifestyle shift.
Yeah. Yeah, that is excellent advice. I think so there's something about trying to get on track where it does something mentally where you're like, well, I have to eat all of the XYZ bad stuff, or I'm
Mhm.
going to be giving up this stuff. So I'm just going to eat all of it right now. And so you can, with the intention of like cleaning up your diet, you can actually end up doing more damage because of that mental, like, whereas I don't know if I'm making sense, but if you were like, uh, I'm just going to eat whatever I want for till the end of vacation, and then we'll deal with it later. You you may not have that same knee jerk reaction to eat everything in sight. It's like a scarcity mentality when you're like, I'm giving
Yes.
up everything, and then you end up eating more of the bad stuff than you would have if you were just like, I'm I'm not worrying about it. If that makes sense. I don't feel like I explained,
100% makes
but
sense. No,
yeah.
I agree with you. It's that whole there's a logical fallacy that I cannot remember the actual name of, but it's basically like, well, I've already spent the money, so the money is already used, so I had better use the product because I spent the money on
Oh,
it.
yes. Yeah.
And like I can't just like throw away, that's like money in the trash, and I can't do that. That's not allowed. And it's a similar type thing. Like it's similar to the scarcity mindset of like I'm not going to be able to do this thing anymore, but so therefore I have to. Um,
Yes.
it's not the same thing, but it's sort of similar in
Yeah.
that respect. And yeah, that's really tricky. So, yeah, and I agree. Taking, a little bit less of a like stick in the mud stance, like here's the line, period. I cannot cross. Um, Having a little bit more of a go with the flow attitude during a vacation, trying to
Mhm.
make, like small, like okay, instead of choosing 100% carbs, I'm gonna choose a little bit more protein. Like I can easily eat more of the protein offering instead of more of the carb offering right now. At least in that case, you're able to fill up a little bit better. You are doing the better thing than, just like going off the rails with all sugar. And then by the time you get home, you're like, okay, protein is my focus, fats are my focus, not carbs, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do
Um,
feel like you said things that were effective.
no, I think it's all good. Yeah, and hopefully that's helpful. Jonathan Shane is here from the Keto Road,
What's
and he had
up?
some thoughts for Marianne also. Marianne, control what you can. When in doubt, put meat on the plate first. Guilt is not the path to long-term habits. I love that. Take a breath. No one's diet is perfect. Remember why and ask yourself. Yeah. Oh, and ask yourself, what is this food doing for me? Yeah. Yeah. I
I
love
love
that.
the fact that we're on the similar train.
Yes. Yeah. I love that guilt is not a path to long-term habits. That is so true. That is so true. Because I mean, knowing in the past, it's like the times that I felt the worst about myself, I probably also ate the worst. Like,
Mhm.
what should be like motivation to eat healthier if feeling bad about where your body is at, it ends up being the opposite, which is just crazy.
Yeah, it just advances that shame cycle.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah, low carb spin says, seriously, why do we self-sabotage? It seems so
I've been
counterintuitive.
thinking about this.
Okay.
I have been thinking about this, and I do not have the answers, but I sometimes wonder if it's that sometimes it's like I'm afraid to actually succeed because I don't know what life looks like at success. And so if I just sabotage this now, I never have to worry about that piece because that's unknown. If you don't have a habit of succeeding at things and you're not really sure, it can feel very scary to step out into the unknown. And then also I've been thinking about the fact that like, do we feel worthy of reclaiming the health that we're seeking
Mm,
or the improvements that we're seeking? Like if we have a worthiness issue inside, then we're going to probably sabotage ourselves. Like I don't deserve this. I'm not worth it. Um, Other people are worth it, and I value other people above me valuing my own health so that I can also better serve my family or, whatever the case may be, do the things that you feel like are valuable for you to do. So I feel like just like afraid of success and feeling a lack of self-worth are two of the things that have sort of been
mm,
rotating around in my brain here lately.
yeah. Yeah, so for me, there's all kinds of different reasons for people to be in, to self-sabotage or to struggle with getting on track or whatever. What I found for me, recently is that I'm trying to go against the ways that I, like, have abused my body in the past, where it's like I tried to force, intense exercise or force super restrictive diets, and it was damaging to my body. And so my reaction to that is never let my body, feel like feel lack. And so anytime I'm, like, trying to make a healthy habit, it's like there's this, like, you're doing something bad. You're, like, pushing your body into too far.
Pain.
And so to like find the balance for that, because it's like we don't want to live in a way that we're just anything my body asks for, I give it. Like you get into trouble real fast if you do that. But then also like don't be don't always not listen to your body, and push yourself for this perfection, that seems to be out there. And so it's like anytime I try to make like be more strict or because I feel like it would be better for like cutting out dairy or something like that. It's like I'll like think, "Oh, that's a good idea," and I'll try to do it. And then that voice in my head like you're just, you going back to that abusive cycle. And so that gives me an excuse to like give into a craving or whatever. So yeah, that's where I have been in the past, I don't know, year or so, because it is such
Yeah.
a paradigm, a complete shift when you're pushing your body and like in an unhealthy way, and then to try get to get healthy in that area. It's like you have to find a
Mhm.
balance between, and to find that is very difficult. And so I'm always second guessing myself, I guess. If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah, and as far as the whole, like, listen to your body, don't listen to your body, it's kinda like you have a two-year-old and you ask them the question, "Are you hungry?"
Yeah.
And the answer could very well be yes. The follow-up question should then not be, "What do you want?" Instead, it should
Mm,
be, "Okay, as the adult, I can make a decision to
mm,
offer a couple of items that would be good choices." Because if you ask the toddler what they want, they probably are going to say something that is not ideal for them. "I want a cookie. I want crackers. I want cupcakes," or, whatever
yeah,
the case may be, if they've been exposed to those things in the past. So it's like, you know, you can definitely ask the question, "Are you this state of being?" Great. Now we can move forward with a
yeah,
reasonable adult brain and say, "Okay, let's find something with this, and this." Instead of saying, "Well, what do you want? What would you like?"
yes,
Because honestly, like, I would love a giant tub of ice cream that is just, like moose tracks from, Ben and Jerry's. Let's do that. No. No
yeah.
2-year-old, you may not have those things. You're hungry? Good. Thumbs up. We recognize it. Now let's find a better choice.
Yeah, I really like that analogy because you're both listening to the two-year-old and telling the two-year-old
Mhm.
what is best for them. So you kinda
That's
have to
right.
do that. We all have our 2-year-old and our adult that we have to figure out who's going to be in
Balance.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Lots of talk about how to tag people. Yeah, so you have
It's
to put
very
at.
important information.
Yes, it is. You put at, and then you put their exact name. And what I didn't realize at first is it doesn't show up as highlighted unless you are the one that is tagged. So
That's right.
I will only ever see my handle tagged. I won't see, but it does work for, like, if you put it in, that person will see it highlighted, but you won't. Very confusing. Let's see. Low Carb Spin says, how about love yourself through it? Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is tricky. Like we're talking about, how do you love yourself? Do you love yourself by giving your 2-year-old everything that they want? No, but
Mm-hmm.
it can be easy to use that as an excuse. I'm just trying to love myself. And so I'm gonna,
Yeah.
like, treat yourself. um,
Treat yourself. Treat
treat
yourself.
yourself. And you can get into so much trouble doing that. So, like, it's like we were talking about, the parent loves the child by telling the child, no, you may not have cupcakes for dinner. And that is loving, even though the
But
child
yes,
doesn't
I love
think
you
it's
because you
loving.
may have food.
Yeah, the child will say, you're the meanest mom ever. But in
And you're
reality,
like, job well done, mom. You're doing it right.
yeah. Let's see. Rita says, I have such a bad habit of self-sabotage. Yep. A lot of us are right there with you. I'm learning how to move on from my falls. Yeah. And that is so important, because the goal, since we're not perfect and can't ever get to be perfect, I think the goal should be to learn how to move on from the falls in a healthy way, rather than
Mm-hmm.
saying, I will never fall.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Got to take the training wheels off, and you got to learn where to store the Band-Aids, because if you scrape your knee, you just got to slap on a Band-Aid and keep on moving.
Yeah. Because, I mean, think about, like, all the times you've failed on a diet. If you just had that fail and then you moved right back on, like, how much farther along would you be? But typically what we do is we fail, and then we're like, well, I already screwed it up, so I'll just, do this for a day or a
I'll
week or a
keep
month.
doing that.
And it's like,
I'll keep
really,
screwing
if
up.
we only had that one first failure and then moved on, it probably wouldn't be so bad. But yeah.
Yeah. I know we've used this analogy in the past, but like on racing games, like video racing games, they've got that checkpoint. So whenever you run off,
Yes.
the side of the track, you don't start all the way back at the start line. You start at that checkpoint. So then you just keep
Yeah.
moving on from there, and you
Yeah.
can still make your progress. You may
Yeah.
not have the fastest time, but you're not having to start all the way at the beginning.
Yeah. 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 We've talked about this before, like, where back, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever, if I fell off the wagon, it was, back to fast food or, all kinds of junk. Now I still
Mm-hmm.
fall off the wagon, in a certain sense, but the things that I cheat with are way healthier. So, like you said, it's like the checkpoint. Instead of going all the way back to, eating McDonald's Big Macs, I, I eat something a little bit healthier that's not quite the best for me, but, it's not all the way back at the beginning. We don't have to start over.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And I think that's a good way of learning how to get up after fail, or like failing. We fail differently. Like, our failing improves.
We get better at doing it bad.
Yeah. Our bad gets a little bit better. Oh goodness.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Suzanne says, excellent thoughts. Self-sabotage is my issue lately. Not bad, but little things here and there. Yep. That sounds
It's so
extremely.
easy.
Yeah.
It's a very common issue. I mean, if we have a bag of pecans opened in the pantry, I can easily just fly by without realizing it. And it takes a lot of concerted efforts to break that cycle and say, okay,
Mm.
no more flybys. Got to change it up, do something
Mhm.
else. Go grab some water, do something different because you're not really hungry. You just want something in your mouth. Like,
Yeah.
go drink some water. That's
Yeah.
okay. You're gonna live. You will
Yeah.
live.
There are definitely like habits that we get into, and people talk about like brain neural pathways. And so, yeah,
Mhm.
I've definitely been in that where you get into the habit of, a certain snack or, grabbing something every time you go into the pantry and it's just like your brain gets used to it. And so you go into the pantry and you don't even it's not even like you're wanting to have the thing. It's just your brain's like, when we go into the pantry, this is what happens. So
We
we just
collect this thing.
yes. And so that can be broken. Like it's just a habit. And if you make a different
Yeah.
habit, it does. And so it's tricky because emotions are involved as well. Like it's not just, the simple brain trick, but that is part of it. So that's one thing. So if you find yourself like I was noticing this every time I go out, I'm like, I need to have a coffee. Like I need to go through the drive-through and get a coffee. And I was like, I'm pretty certain that's just like a habit that I have. And like it's hard to break. Even like times where I'm like, I don't even really want one, like physically, but I'm like, I need to go do that. Like that's just what I do. So having that, speaking that truth to yourself and knowing that that's a thing, it does help to kind of break the habit and be like, am I really doing this because like I actually physically want it, or am I just doing it
Yeah.
because this is my little comfort routine that I do self-care when I
Mhm.
go out? So,
I
um,
find it fascinating, the whole going for coffee. I never buy coffee out,
well,
but
see, you don't have
you
that
best
neural
be
pathway.
assured well, mine is different.
Good.
Mine is, I'm gonna leave the house with the largest cup of coffee that I can produce
There
in
you
the
go.
in the amount of time that I have, and then it's coming with me, and I'm gonna nurse that cup of coffee the whole
Yeah,
time, and I'm gonna be super sad at the end of it, and it's just that's my
yeah, yeah,
my little
your
habit
brain
that
your
needs to
brain probably feels
probably
safe.
adjust.
Your brain feels safe having that giant cup of coffee.
It does. Well, and it's like I get bored in the car if I'm like driving to, or if we're like going somewhere specific, like, okay, we're going over to gymnastics. Okay, well, I'm gonna be bored. I need something to do. I
Yes,
gotta drink my coffee. Drink,
yes,
sip, sip, burn your mouth. Okay, give it 10 minutes.
yep. Amy says, "Don't fail and bail." I love it.
Oh, I like that very much.
Um,
But that's not to be confused with if you are failing at something and need to reassess to determine if that's really the way you need to be moving, you know, make sure it's like the right way you need to be going instead of just like trying to, you know, jackhammer through a wall that can't be jackhammered through.
Chris Bear says they are called fetch quests, where you're tasked to go get something. Fetch quests. That just rolls
That's
right off the tongue.
that's cute. I personally prefer flybys.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a flyby.
Yeah. Oh, been there. Okay, Tiffany says, so true. Caught myself last month with crazy cravings, going back on birth control and snacking habit. And then it started to be picking at my kids' non-keto food. Last month, I had to nip it quick. Yes. Yep. And it really is amazing how as humans, we don't typically stay on one thing. It's like
Yeah.
if we don't specifically intend to stay a certain way, we tend to drift just naturally. And so like we don't you start a new diet and you're like all in and figured it all out, and then as time goes on, it's just like it's just natural unless you're continually bringing yourself back to the intention. And so and I don't think it's necessarily bad. Like I don't see myself as a failure for drifting, but I do think I need to continually bring myself back. So like I like to do a month here and there in the year of something stricter, and it was Whole30 at one point, and then it's evolved, but just, bringing yourself back and kind of remembering how you feel with a certain, level of strictness, because as you can veer off and drift, symptoms can start coming back, but it's like really slow. So you don't notice it until you like, oh, when I get back to this, then I know how good I feel. And
Yeah.
that can help you, not drift as far next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Risa's got to go to work.
Have a good one, Risa.
Let's see. Okay. Chris says, and again, we're back to sunk cost bias. Don't keep doing something just because you've sunk time and energy into something that you don't really want. Know when it's time to go down a new path. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Been
Well,
there.
and I think that does, it's so easy. Like if you get onto one trajectory and you just commit, and you just truck along without really like picking your eyes up, you put your head down and you focus on that one trajectory. And that can be really great for so many different things. Like I've got to clean the bathroom, so I'm just going to put my head down and do the thing. But then there's other times where you've really got to find that moment where you can lift your head up and check, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Am I still where I need to be? I was thinking about swimming at that point. Like, have I hit the wall? All of the analogies all at once. That's all I do. I just have analogies floating through the head at all times.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I do that with like bargain shopping, where I will find a bargain and I'm like, I'm going to use whatever food product a lot. And so I buy a whole bunch of it, and then it sits in the pantry and I'm like, I'm never going to use this. And it's like sat there for a year and I'm like,
that much of it.
Yes. And so it sits there and I'm like, no, I'm still going to use it. I'm still, every time it was like, but at some point it's just like, just get rid of it. Be honest with yourself. Like take the hit, like, cause there's still some pride there. Like, no, I spent the money on it and I'm going to use it.
I won't be wrong.
And then, it goes past date and is bad. And then you throw it away. And it's like that space in your pantry was taken up for that entire year for nothing. But sometimes it's like more freeing just to be like honest with myself. I'm never going to use this. Either, find someone who can use it or get rid of it. And it's like, it can be very freeing, but then also it, messes with your pride. Like, yeah.
Just a little bit. Last night, I made some mozzarella cheese sticks as like an appetizer for our dinner. And the first time that I had tried it out, it was amazing. Jared and I just couldn't gobble them up fast enough. And then last night I did them, but I didn't follow the exact same procedure because I struggled to remember, because I didn't write it down. And if I would have written it down, I probably would have lost it anyway. So I'm like making these things and then they don't quite taste the same. And they just kind of feel a little off. So we cook them a little bit longer and we're eating on them and we're just like, this just isn't it. And there were a few of them left. And part of me says, don't waste food.
Mm-hmm.
Do not waste food. Oh, thank you for affirming my don't waste food statement. But then the other part of me is, that is going to go bad in the refrigerator because nobody is going to choose or elect to eat that again. And I will not be able to reconfigure that in a way that would be eatable by anybody. So I think I have to just take the hit on this one and remember it for the next time. Like, don't do that again. It's okay.
My recommendation is to get chickens, because you just take the leftovers to the chickens and they turn it into eggs for you. And you don't have to feel bad.
Great.
I've done that with certain like food products in my pantry
good.
where I'm like, I'm never going to use this. I open it up and give it to the chickens.
I'm super glad to see that my husband is here.
Oh, and by the way, happy birthday, Jared.
Yeah.
Big milestone birthday. Congratulations. I'm making it so far. How about we just write down recipes and we'll create less waste?
Right, but I already mentioned that I would probably lose it.
How about we don't lose things, Lindsey?
How about that? I will say I've got the Good Notes app on my iPad here, and that is actually has been somewhat helpful. And I can go in and I can scratch out little notes like, okay, this worked this time or that worked that time. Um and then I can actually like search by words and stuff like that. So that has been helpful. But I don't always in the middle of it think like, oh, I should probably write this down. This might turn out good. I automatically assume, like, nah, if it doesn't turn out, it doesn't turn out. I just have to be better. I just have to be more like Jared and Neely.
Yeah. Lindsay, come on. Step up your game.
Stepping it up. Stepping it up.
Oh, goodness.
Jared's telling you to preach hard because Lindsay needs it.
Jared has the solution to everything, clearly. You know, all husbands do, really.
Literally
We
everything.
listen to our husbands.
Yep. 100%.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. Marianne says, late response, be home on Saturday. So that her on vacation. We'll be home
Just
on
a
Saturday.
few more days.
But I feel depressed when I eat other things. Yeah, it's so hard.
It's really hard. And it's also hard, like, if you just feel depressed because you know, you made a choice that you know is not helping you to be, you know, to feel better, or is it like I chemically my brain doesn't do well, so now I am actually like experiencing depression. That's tricky. I feel like if it's just feeling depressed because you made a choice or feeling down about making a choice, then, you know, that's more easily overcome than okay, like I've actually got some chemical things to work on here,
Right.
and eating the diet that makes me feel best is the path for that. So that's tricky.
Yeah. Well, the stress when you're eating off what you know is good for your body, there can be like two separate stresses. The stress of actually eating the food and then the stress of the guilt and the mental stuff. And so if you're able like until Saturday just to be like, I don't know, do whatever you can to like let that mental stress go. It's like you've decreased your stress by 50%. And it's like we carry both of them. Because there's been times where I've eaten ways that I know isn't physically as good for my body, but I had no stress about it. Like I was like, I know this is not, and I'll do that on various occasions. Like if it's a special event or a holiday thing or whatever, and I'll make the decision to eat the thing, knowing that it's not the best for my body, but
it's temporary.
It's temporary, and then I feel so much different than I used to feel, where it was like I can never eat that thing, and if I eat it, I'm sinning and doing something terrible. And like the guilt and the shame, even though like physically eating the thing, it's the same in both circumstances, but the just letting go of that emotional mental weight of it, it makes the experience completely different. Yeah. Let's see. Sharon said she just caught up. We just did an estate sale at my dad's house, and I had to really work not to want to take home things attached to old fond memories. Yeah. That's, I mean, the things we're talking about, it applies to every aspect of life. Like, when to keep those memories when it's important, and when it's just hoarding or,
scarcity mindset. Like I won't remember this thing if I don't take this item to trigger my memories.
Yeah.
That's very stressful.
Yeah. Let's see. Jared's celebrating his 18th birthday, right?
I guess. I don't know. No, he's completed his 4th decade of life.
It's a pretty big deal.
He's older than me right now, therefore he's wiser.
Well, isn't he always older than you?
That was my argument, but he said no, it's different whenever his birthday shifts his number to a bigger number than mine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Jeff turned 40 in August, and I turned 40 in April. So we still have another couple of months of him being a year older than me, a
Oh
year
man,
wiser than me.
I feel like we need to celebrate our 40th this year somehow.
Oh, maybe with a trip to Utah?
That's it. That's it. We're doing it. We're gonna go to Utah for our 40th birthdays, and it'll be a little
Or like
late.
shortly after.
Yeah, it'll be a month late for me. Not quite a
Yeah,
month late for you, but
agreed.
we'll do that.
Yeah. All right. It's a deal. For those of you that don't know, we will be going to Utah in May for the Keto Chow meetup, and we will be speaking there and
We're not
meeting
sure about
everybody.
what.
Still not yet. Yeah. I think we're just gonna sit and do a coffee chat, like an hour-long coffee
See,
chat.
now that feels right on all fronts. We maybe be able to talk, we might be able to talk them into doing some hot chocolate core keto chow if they've got any that they could use. Or, like, I don't know. I feel like it could be a great thing.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So anyone that's gonna be in Utah or around Utah, May 17th, come meet us. It would be so fun.
That's right.
Let's see. Effortlessly Lean
Oh,
said,
this is an interesting question.
"Are you ladies members of the IMRIC site or PhD, Proper Human Diet, Dr. Berry? Did you take coach certification at all? If you did or would, which one? Love you both."
Oh, well, thank you.
Lindsey, are you members? A
I'm
member of
not.
Yeah.
I am not of either of those two sites. I love the berries. I think that they put out a lot of really practical, great information, and they are based on like what I understand about their membership. They are really there for their community in ways that they can't be there for people on the YouTubes, and so I think that that's fantastic. I've never taken a coaching program at all. I've considered it in the past, and I've just not ever committed to doing that because I would want to do it in a way where it would be not just someone's certification, like the PhD coaching certification or the Emmerich's version of that. I would not want to do that. I would want to go the path of having an accreditation kind of
Mhm.
certificate. Wow, we almost lost it on that one, didn't we? And then potentially tacking something else on beyond that. So,
Yeah.
but if I did decide to do that, I would probably choose the PhD version over the Emmerich one, just because I feel like I don't know. I feel like a greater connection toward the berries than I do towards Maria. Not to say that, her certification, it's gonna be a hard word all day, is good or bad. I have no clue. But that's sort of where I would lean if I were to do that.
Yeah. So
And
I am
Neely, how about you?
so I am also not a member of either the Emmerichs or PhD. I have not taken any coaching certifications. With my YouTube channel, like I've always said, like what you see is what you get. I don't have time for pretty much anything.
Extras. Mhm.
So like what I'm able to do on the YouTube channel, that's what I offer. And then I'm homeschooling my kids, and I just that hasn't been something
Homesteading the
I
farm.
yeah. So that's not been something that I've even considered having time for. And it's funny because when you're on YouTube, people automatically think you're an expert, like, at whatever it is you're sharing, which a lot of people are. But,
Just not us.
right. And so when I share, it's like I'm sharing my own journey. I'm sharing, fun
Yep.
recipes I'm trying or whatever. I'm not trying to educate in the same way that, Dr. Barry or whoever on YouTube is. It's a completely different kind of YouTube channel that I have. And so
Mhm.
I'm not a coach, and that's not something that's, in my future as far as I know. And I actually
Mhm.
just was sharing on my last video, I think, that I'm actually going to be coached by Jonathan Shane of the Keto Road. And he is
Yep.
not, as far as I know, he's not doesn't have his certification through PhD or MRIC. He is a functional nutritional therapy practitioner, I think. And so he has a certification through that program. I'm not sure where exactly you get that certification, but I really like. I don't have any experience with the MRICS certification or PhD certification, so I can't compare any of them. But I like the functional nutritional therapy idea as from what I know about it.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like pretty solid program. And so I'm
Mhm.
excited. Like we're starting hopefully in a week or so, and I'll be sharing, those sessions and stuff. And anyways, I'm excited about the possibilities. And after we go through this, I'll be able to give a little bit more insight into, that kind of a coaching program. So
I think that's awesome. I really
yeah.
do. I personally find that it's hard enough to hold myself accountable to things, let alone be responsible and hold accountable others.
Yes. Well, I'm coaching all of my children at the moment, and so my
I'm a
coach,
solid coach
I
there.
have as many clients as I can handle right now.
Do you
I'm
do
gonna
you have
start
like a
calling kids
co-coach?
clients.
I
Uh,
actually have 3 clients right now. We're booked.
yeah. If anything opens up, I'll let you know.
In fact, I feel like you probably gained a client since Autumn's married,
There you
and
go.
you just take all of the in-laws in. You just
There you go.
fold them right in.
Yeah. Well, either that or she's graduated from my coaching program.
Oh, I feel like that's probably more creditable.
Yeah. I think she's my first successful coachee.
We'll get her we'll get her testimony later.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll get a blurb on the website.
That's what we need.
Oh, goodness. Miriam is here. Hello,
Hi,
Miriam.
Miriam.
She was actually getting work done, and I feel like that might be
Ouch, that
directed
feels like
towards
a
Chris.
dig. Or is it towards Jared?
Oh, maybe both.
Maybe so. Our men folk have decided that they're here. But also I feel like them supporting us. Well, Chris is Miriam's man folk. Where
Well,
is Jeff?
Jeff does not watch my YouTube channel. Let's just say
That's
that.
because he's got his own YouTube channel creativity constantly rolling around in his brain and he just
Yeah,
needs to execute
too
it.
much. Yeah, well, he doesn't
Oh,
even know who Dr. Barry is, so
classic.
oh, goodness.
I have a question.
Okay.
If Jeff were to put together the YouTube channel that he,
Has
thinks
in his heart.
could yeah, if he was ever to put forth the content, would you watch his channel?
Yes, of course I would. I mean,
I
so
like him way more than he likes me.
well, for one thing, his YouTube channel is supposed to be like a comedy sketch type thing. That's what he has in his mind. So it's a little bit different. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. But still, I would watch it.
I mean, I would watch it just based on the theme song alone, but
Yeah. The theme song's pretty great. One day I'll be able to like share that with all of you when he actually makes his YouTube channel. It'll be a glorious day.
for now he's going to help out the peoples with their homes.
Yeah, which is legitimate.
That's honorable work.
Good. I think Miriam means that she's actually here at work getting work done. Yeah. It's
That
not
feels
enough just
right.
to be at work. You still do have to work. Yeah.
I mean, anybody can hold a chair down from floating to the ceiling.
I'm working hard on that right now.
I'm
Um,
actually not. I'm keeping the patch of floor from floating by standing on it.
there
I
you
figured
go.
out that I just have to be standing, so
Yeah.
it's great.
Oh,
It's great.
I wanna get a walking pad.
Oh, I have looked into those time and again, and I'm like, that seems so cool, but I don't think I would actually use it.
Oh, I
I
think
could
I
be
would.
wrong.
I want to get one. Still trying to figure it out.
Mm.
Trying to find a company that wants to send me one for free.
If you find them and they want somebody who has, like 8% reach of your reach, then let me know.
I will. I will pass on your name. No, I haven't. Uh, eventually, maybe I'll find it. I'm still waiting, like, every day with the emails because I'll get, like, I don't know, 5 emails a day from people wanting to send me all kinds of random things.
Yeah,
I'm
and
like,
you're like,
"One of these
I
days,
don't
it's gonna be
believe
walking
you someday. But if you get the walking pad, you're gonna need the standing desk. So
Yes.
we've gotta look out for two things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see, but I would really like one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't seem to be that much money, but it also
No.
seems like a pretty big floor space consumer if you choose not to use it.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
And I feel like I
I'll
would
be
have
able
to
to sit
like
under my
walk on
bed.
it an hour a day just to justify the cost.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Jared's at work and working. That's
But
good.
I like Chris's, caveat there.
What did oh.
Picks or it didn't happen.
Yup. Okay. Oh, singing is
But
back at normal
Miriam,
speed.
congratulations! You did it.
I do kind of like Lindsay's interpretation of the comment. Oh dear. All right. Well, it has
I'm
been an
really good
hour.
at twisting the words, making sure to
Yep,
put the right emphasis on the right syllables.
yep, syllables. Um,
You gotta love them.
yes. All right. We I don't know if we got any, meaningful stuff out here today, but we sure had
I
fun.
think we did. I think we did.
There are some
There
we'd
was
sure
encouragement.
don't know.
There was
Yes.
clarifications.
Laughter.
Lots
Yes.
of laughter. That's what we do
Yes.
best.
Yeah. So we will be back next week, same time, same place. Um,
Indeed.
if you have any amazing topics that you'd like us to talk about, leave it in the comments.
Submit them and we'll consider it.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Sometimes
not going to guarantee it, but we'll
no. I
consider
mean,
it.
hey, yeah, those ask me anything videos. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Well, I mean, I guess you can ask anything. I'm not answering anything. We got some boundaries. All right. Thanks for joining.
Bye, y'all.